What's going on, YouTube? Germans have always been known on making many different body styles to fit many different unique needs, such as this 2024 Audi A5 Sportback, which has SUV levels of space and practicality in a sexy coupe-like body. So with many new standard features for 2024, is this a segment leader? Let's go ahead and find out. Now, as always, we'll go ahead and start this review out with the spec dump and what's under the hood. Now, before we get any further, I do want to just mention that Drew is unable to join us today. He's off in California on a media drive, so it's just going to be me reviewing the A5 Sportback on this cold and snowy day. Now, as far as what you have under the hood of the A5, all models are going to have a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. You have two different tunes, a 40 model and a 45. More popular is the 45 and what we have today. It's going to have 261 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. All models have a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, and you have standard quattro all-wheel drive. As far as fuel economy is concerned, it comes in at 27 mpg combined. Now, of course, later on in this review, we will be taking this out on the road to see the performance of this engine, as well as get things like our signature sound level reading going 55 miles an hour, so we can compare to rivals at carconfections.com. But first, let's go ahead and shut up the hood and take a look at the exterior of this sleek, sexy coupe-like sedan. All right, so let's go ahead and start out here with the exterior. Now, before you go ahead and break your fingers off in the comment section saying I didn't even scrape the car off, it is a wind chill of -10 degrees right now, and this is the best we can do. So I don't care, you can comment all day long, this is what it is. Now, as far as the exterior design is concerned, we do have a really good look for this A5. Nothing's going to change much. We do get new standard equipment for 2024, which we'll talk about throughout the whole review. But as far as the exterior design is, it's not going to change much. So we do have a nice single frame grille up here in the front. We do have blacked out Audi beam rings because they are now referring to this as the Black Optic Plus package. So we have the Premium Plus with that package, which blacks everything out, gives you that nice sporty look. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our headlights. Now our headlights are going to be very premium on this A5 Sportback because we have standard matrix LED lights, which gives us the dynamic turn signal across the top, and they are full LED. Additionally, you can option to get the Prestige model, which will further give you laser lights with entry and exit animations. Now, walking around to the rear design of this A5 Sportback, this is where you're going to be able to really first tell that this is not a regular A4 because you have that really sexy coupe-like sport design. I really love the way this vehicle looks. It's been out for a while, and boy, has it aged gracefully. Now, as far as some of the individual design elements I want to talk about, we do have a blacked out spoiler up top, blacked out Audi branding, as well as A5 branding. That's because we have the Black Optic Plus package. And let's check out our tail lights. Now, Josh is inside, and he's going to go ahead and go through the tail light elements and see if they're all LED. So we do have an LED brake light portion, LED dynamic turn signal, and we also have an LED reverse light. So all three elements are LED. We test that out here at Car Confections because it's not a given that a luxury car will have all the elements as LED. So I'm definitely happy to see that. Down here at the very bottom, we do have dual integrated exhaust outlets. Once again, it's going to be blacked out for this model. Now, moving on to the wheels, no sports sedan would be complete without really nice looking options, and indeed we're going to have them on this A5 Sportback. Now, what you're looking at now is the standard wheel option if you choose the Black Optic Plus package. It's a 19-inch contrast alloy, and I really love that they're also including the red brake calipers. It looks phenomenal. It actually looks very similar to something like an S5 Sportback. Now, you do have a standard 18-inch alloy wheel on other versions. Now, as we head up, we have our blacked out S-Line branding. We're also going to have a blacked out mirror housing. As far as the mirror functionality is concerned, we do have standard heating and standard blind spot monitoring. If you want power folding and auto dimming, you will have to at least choose the Premium Plus trim level. Now, here at the side, you can certainly tell that this is an A5 Sportback because you do have that sloped design that I was talking about in the rear. And as far as the overall vehicle length, is coming in at 187.2 2 inches. Now, I do want to talk about your safety systems because this is an area of change for 2024. We're now having 2 more additional safety systems as standard equipment. That's adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist. And that's in addition to your other 2 safety systems. So that does mean that you're now getting all 4 as standard equipment. Now, as far as other features you can option on, the Prestige model will give you the traffic jam assist. But guys, there are also some new features on the inside, so let's check that out. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the inside and see those interior changes. But there's a change before we even get inside the vehicle. Now, I want to talk about this because it's, of course, very useful on a cold day like today. You're now going to get remote start as standard equipment if you choose a 45 model. Not the 40, but a 45 model will now have remote start as standard equipment. Now, here is what your smart entry key fob looks like. It's your traditional Audi key. It's nicely done, piano black on the back, and it does have a nice weighting to it. That does, of course, mean you can just grab behind the handle to unlock the door. And looking inside, you're not going to see any major design changes for 2024, but that doesn't mean there aren't some subtle changes that I want to talk about. Now, as always, we're going to go ahead and start by talking about our materials and seating choices. So we do have standard real leather on every version of the A5 Sportback. That's something that Audi does on all of their models, and I'm certainly happy to see that you get real leather as standard equipment, even on the base model. You have 4 different interior color choices to pick from as well. And since we have the 45 model, that does also mean we get this special sport seat that has more aggressive bolstering. We have a little bit more aggressive stitching details as well. Now, as far as the adjustability, it is going to be highly adjustable. We have 4-way lumbar support as well as manual thigh extension. And if you choose a premium plus trim level or above, you will also have memory seats. This is also a good time for me to mention that we have frameless glass on the A5 Sportback. That's a really nice coupe-like design touch that you're getting on this model. But let's go ahead and hop inside and check out the details. Now that we're inside, let's go ahead and take a look at the material quality for this A5 Sportback. Now, we have the Premium Plus trim level, and that does mean that we're going to have a nice leatherette armrest portion. We have leatherette all through here, and we're also going to have a nice soft touch plastic up top. Now, moving up to the upper dashboard, this is also going to be made of a very high quality soft touch plastic. And through here, you will notice a new trim piece for 2024. That's because we have the Black Optic Plus package. That's going to give us this new aluminum trim. I'm a really big fan of it, and it does have a really nice texture. We've seen this on some of the other 2024 Audi products, and I really like it. Now, as far as the push button start, that's going to be located right here, and it is going to be standard on all models. All right, and let's go ahead and talk about those individual features. So let's start right here with the gauge cluster. So what you're seeing right now is the 12.3-inch virtual cockpit system. This was one of the original digital gauge clusters. It's a very solid, high-resolution display. You can also customize between different views and even stuff like Google Maps integration. I do want to point out, though, if you choose the base premium model, you're going to instead have a 7-inch multifunction display. And if you choose the top-end Prestige, you will additionally get a head-up display. And then coming back to the steering wheel, we do have a nicely leather-wrapped one as standard equipment. This is going to be your typical Audi design with some aluminum down here at the bottom. I do want to talk about this because this is a new standard feature for 2024. We now have a heated steering wheel, which certainly is good on a day like today. Now, as far as the adjustment, it is going to be manual, tilt, and telescoping. Now let's go ahead and talk about interior storage for this A5 Sportback. Now, this is a pretty practical vehicle for the most part, but when it comes to this center console storage area, not so much. Now here at Car Confections, we do a thing called the donut test. That's because our emblem is a donut, and we want to see how much center console space there is and measure volume. In this A5 Sportback, we are going to only have the ability to fit 4 donuts, and that's pretty much if you smush them down. So very small center console. However, if we get those donuts out of the way, you will notice that we have a wireless phone charging pad, and we also have some USBs back behind that. Coming up, we do have a spot to put our key fob, or you can put it in this area right here. We have 2 cup holders. Additionally, we're going to have another USB port and a 12-volt outlet as far as storage is concerned. Now, coming back to the shifter, we do have an electronic style shifter. I actually really like the feel of this. It feels more traditional than most electronic shifters. You just pull back for drive, and then you go up for reverse. As you can see, we do have a 360-degree camera on this model. That's because that is included on the Premium Plus trim levels and above. So certainly like that they're not just reserving that for a prestige level A5 Sportback. Then you just press the P for park. Now, I do want to point out you have an electronic parking brake, but you do not have brake hold. And then over here, you will also notice the volume knob. Now, because we have the Premium Plus trim level, that does mean we have the upgraded 19-speaker Bang & Olufsen 755-watt audio system, so a very premium audio system. However, we are having a little bit of technical difficulties today when it comes to getting the audio sample. Normally, we would provide that to you guys, but our technology is not quite working today. So you have to take my word for it. We've sampled it in plenty of other Audi products. It is a very good audio system. Just do keep in mind it's only on Premium Plus and Prestige grades. Now, as we head on up the dashboard, we do have our climate controls, which I know many of you guys will certainly appreciate the fact that it is a traditional physical climate setup. So unlike a lot of the rivals like BMW and Mercedes that are putting their climate controls in the infotainment systems themselves, we have traditional knobs and buttons. They have a very nice clicky premium feel to them, and it's actually going to be a 3-zone climate system as standard equipment on all A5 Sportbacks, and you do also have some nice touch capacitive buttons here. Now, off to the side of that, we do have 3-stage heated seats. Those are standard on every single model, and ventilated seats are available. Now, moving up to the display, this is going to be a 10.1-inch touchscreen for this model. This is going to be running one of the latest MMI systems, and as far as functionality is concerned, this is a pretty solid system. We do have built-in navigation if you choose a Prestige level or above, and we do also have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, moving up, we have a standard auto-dimming interior mirror with a compass built in, and we also have HomeLink garage door openers. And then up here at the top, I want to talk about this. Audi is including this panoramic moonroof as standard equipment on every single A5 Sportback. So not only do you get the nice open air experience on the inside, it does provide for a little bit of a better look on the outside by blacking out that front panel. Now let's go ahead and check out the rear seats of this A5 Sportback. Now, you might expect with that really cool, sleek, coupe-like design that you're not going to have very much space here in the rear, but you would be wrong. This A5 Sportback is going to have a good amount of space. We're sitting at about 35 inches of legroom, about 37 inches of headroom, so the headroom is actually particularly pretty impressive. I'm 5'9" for reference, and my hair is barely scratching the ceiling, but certainly an average size adult will be able to fit back here perfectly fine. Now, as far as knee space, here at Car Confections, we like to provide individual measures for you so you don't have to just rely on the manufacturer's numbers. And behind my own seating position, I'm 5'9" for reference, 8 inches of knee space, so that's quite a lot of room. My feet can also slide up underneath the seat. Do be aware, though, that this center tunnel is going to be quite large, so the center passenger might be a little uncomfortable. Now, as far as features, we do have standard vents on all models. We're also going to have our own climate controls because a 3-zone system is standard equipment. Additionally, we have 2 charging USB ports and a 12-volt outlet. Unfortunately, unless you choose the Prestige model, you're going to be out of luck if you want a toasty bottom because that is Prestige exclusive. And we do have a nice center armrest that folds down, 2 pop-out cup holders. And then as far as your door trim is concerned, it's going to be made of the same nice materials as the driver door trim. So you have soft touch on the upper part, that new aluminum trim, leatherette, and some storage down in the very bottom. And walking up to the tailgate area, this is where the Sportback really shines. You heard me at the intro say this has like SUV levels of practicality, and let's check it out. Now, we do have a standard hands-free power tailgate on every single A5 Sportback, and that's going to reveal a large amount of space. This is certainly not a sedan amount of space. About 22 cubic feet behind the second row seats. If we fold those second row seats down, we're going to expand about 35 cubic feet, although I will say I think it's honestly a little bit more space than 35 cubic feet with those seats folded down. That's really the beauty about having a Sportback, is you have that additional practicality. Now, I do want to point out the seats do fold 40-20-40 split folding. We do not have any handles to fold them from back here, so I will have to go up to the second row itself. And after we fold those seats down, as you can see, they fold nice and flat. Let's go ahead and get the cargo length figure. That's something that we do here in all of our Car Confections reviews, in case you're looking to haul something, and we are sitting at a very impressive 76 inches of overall length behind the driver's seat, adjusted to my position. Behind the second row seats themselves, we are going to be looking at about 42 inches of cargo length. As far as the cargo width is concerned, we're sitting at 35 inches wide, so very practical. As far as other things I want to point out, if we lift up the cargo floor, we do have a spare tire integrated underneath of here. Well guys, here we are behind the wheel of the 2024 Audi A5 Sportback, and if you're new to the channel and haven't met Josh yet, Josh is here assisting me with all the filming, so we're very glad he was able to join along with us. But we're going to be talking about quite a few different things in this test drive, including getting our sound level reading. But first, we're going to go ahead and start with a hard acceleration.
All right.
All right, and there is a quick punch of the throttle up to 55 miles per hour in the A5 Sportback. Now, like I said at the spec dump, we do have a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder under the hood. This is the TFSI 45 model, which is the more powerful engine setup in the A5 Sportback lineup. That means we're going to have 261 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque, which is certainly a very healthy power figure. And good to get this thing to 60, I believe, in about 5.5 seconds for this TFSI 45 model.
And as we've grown accustomed to in many Audi products, you do also have the option of a less powerful 40 TFSI, which is a same 2-liter turbo straight 4, and that will be making 201 horsepower and 236 pound-feet of torque, and that will be a little bit slower 0 to 60, coming in at 6.4 seconds instead of 5.4 on the 45.
Yeah, so really either way you cut it, both versions of this A5 Sportback are quite powerful, but you know, if you're kind of concerned about those sports sedan characteristics, you'll probably want to go for this more powerful setup, which I can tell you is really quite peppy. We've sampled out this 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder in a lot of other Audi products, including the Q5 just last week. And it feels even faster here in this sedan body style. It's just such a great engine. Volkswagen Group is fantastic with getting their 2 liters so refined, so smooth and quick, and this is one of the best 2 liters that you can buy, that is for sure. Now, one of the reasons why it is so good is that it also has a mild hybrid system on board that basically is going to power advanced auto start stop. So as you'll notice throughout the drive, it might turn on and off maybe before we even come to a stop. That's one of the good things about mild hybrid setups, is that you do have the ability to really expand auto start stop out. However, you know, it's currently like 16 degrees outside, so I believe the vehicle probably will keep the engine on just to keep us warm inside the cabin, but overall the advanced auto start stop and mild hybrid system do work really well with this engine setup, as we sampled out in past Audi products.
And another use of that mild hybrid system that is going to be very advantageous in this A5 Sportback is the fact that it's going to really help your fuel economy numbers for both of your models. So if you opt for the slower 40 model, you're going to be coming in at 30 miles to the gallon combined, and on this 45 TFSI model, you'll be coming in at 27 miles to the gallon combined.
And do keep in mind you get standard quattro all-wheel drive, as you would expect out of an Audi product, so those are your only 2 fuel economy figures. Now, another thing I'm really liking about this powertrain setup is the 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. You know, if you're familiar with automotive stuff in general, you'll know that dual clutch basically allows it to shift quicker and have that sportier characteristic, which is certainly good in a sports sedan like this A5. However, one of the things I want to talk about is the fact that this dual clutch is very refined. So a lot of times the dual clutch transmissions can be a little herky-jerky, just kind of cruising around town. This is one of those setups that you're really not even going to notice it's a dual clutch, besides for how quick it'll shift gears when you put your foot down. And as we're going around some sweeping corners here, I do want to just go ahead and talk about the driving dynamics with this A5 Sportback. Now, of course, this is a sedan, so that's obviously going to give you some benefits over something like an Audi Q5. However, I will say that the driving dynamics are going to be definitely more on the comfort side of things, more so than the sport side of things. That's intentional, of course, because Audi does have an S5 Sportback they'd like to sell you, and an RS5 Sportback they'd like to sell you as well if sport is your main focus. But here with the A5, it's a pleasant sportiness, but certainly going to have a lot of comfort as well.
Now that Mason has sped up to 55 miles an hour, it's time to get our signature Car Confections sound level reading. So we're going to make sure we are on fan speed 1, and we'll go ahead and get that going. All right, we're going to be at 56.3 decibels, which is quite a good sound level reading. And I don't have to sit here and guess though, because I can go to www.carconfections.com/sound level readings to go look at all of our sound readings we have ever done. And I can even break things down by each segment and look at a full master list. So let's go ahead and do that to compare to its competitors. And as I said, it was a pretty good sound level reading, and indeed it is. It puts it in about the middle of this segment.
And of course, since we were already kind of talking about the comfort side of things, when it comes to ride quality, I've been nothing but impressed with the A5 Sportback. We've reviewed this model several times at this point, and it just has a really pleasant ride quality. It soaks up the bumps well. However, you do still have some intrusion, but it's a good amount of intrusion for a sedan like this. I also want to point out, I really like these sport seats that are now standard on the TFSI 45 model for 2024. That's a reason itself to upgrade to this model. Now it's time to go into our slam dunk and airball, our least favorite element and our favorite element about the A5 Sportback. Josh, why don't you go ahead and kick us off with the slam dunk?
Well, the slam dunk has got to be a combination of, first of all, the design. We love this Sportback design, which really allows this sexy coupe-like design with the SUV amounts of space in the rear, as well as the 2024 updates. We are very happy to see that more and more German cars, especially within the Audi lineup, are offering all 4 of your active safety systems as standard. So that is today's slam dunk.
Yeah, and as far as our airball is concerned, it's just got to be the storage. We have complained about this in pretty much every Audi product, but being able to fit only 4 donuts here in the center console, I mean, it's really just kind of a problem, unfortunately. And the center console doubles as your wireless phone charging pad. So you're really not going to be able to store much things in this A5 Sportback, and that's really across most Audi models. So I'd really like to see them improve that as these vehicles get redesigned. Of course, like Josh was saying, this is quite an old model. It came out in 2018 initially, but it is aging very gracefully on the outside. It's still a beautiful, beautiful vehicle.
And to wrap things up on this A5 Sportback, you will be equipped with Audi's signature warranty for your 50,000 miles for both your basic and powertrain, and Audi is still not offering any complimentary maintenance.
And let's go ahead and talk about pricing. How much is this vehicle going to cost? Well, the premium model is going to start out at $45,500, Premium Plus $49,700, Prestige $55,000. Do keep in mind that is with TFSI 40. So if you want 45, if you want the more powerful setup, that is going to cost you a little bit more. Of course, you do also have standard Quattro all-wheel drive. Now, what we've opted for is the 2445 model with the Premium Plus package. We also have the Black Optic package, plus our 1095 destination. We're sitting at $56,455 as tested today. And if you're looking to buy an Audi A5 Sportback or any new vehicle for that matter, we would suggest going to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, why you'd go to our website is because we have a tool that will connect you with local dealers in your area to get you the best price on your new vehicle. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealer negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description. And guys, that's going to be where we leave off on this in-depth review of the 2024 Audi A5 Sportback. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you help give us access to vehicles like this where we can come out and sample the latest model year and show you some of those 2024 enhancements. If you're already a fan and subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.